Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Maria. This is Conversations with Mother Earth. Welcome to episode 20. Episode 20. I made it. This is one of my big milestones, episode 20. I've been recording and sharing channel messages now, I think, since the end of last summer. So what is that? How many months is that? For an April 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 8 or 9, maybe 10 months. 20 episodes. Wow. I'm proud of me for showing up 20 times. And you know what? It's actually more than 20 because I've accidentally deleted some or have not published everything that I've recorded. There have been some hiccups along the way as I've been learning the technology and all of the other things and just trying to figure some stuff out. But today, I get to share a monumental growth moment, which I think is so fun and so exciting for me. Because with the excitement, sometimes comes the contrast as well. Working through the doubt. Working through the confusion and the lack of direction and all of the things. I mean, the person that I was when I started this project, is what I termed it, my project. The person that I was when I started in July, August, September of last year is truly someone that is so different from who I am now. In maybe a minute way, the smallest tweaks here and there. But I have grown so much over these 20 episodes, and my intuition, my channel has developed so wonderfully over 20 episodes. If I were to go back and watch some of those earliest podcasts that I recorded, they would be fine. They'd be great. But I know inside of myself now that the hesitation and the doubt and the questioning that I had going on in my mind when I was first starting was so completely unnecessary. And it flows so much easier now. And in fact, the development that I'm having with my spiritual connections with the things that I'm connecting to are evolving and changing as well. My channel is, I think, becoming more, I don't want to say cute because that's not the right word, but it's becoming more discretionary, I guess you could say. It's kind of picking and directing me, as you've seen over the past few episodes, directing me in a certain direction. I've always been so drawn to history, nature, Mother Earth, kind of the whys behind things. And that has definitely come into play when it comes to the topics that I like to discuss and bring up and ask questions to Mother Earth or the Akashic records or all of these other things. It also has definitely colored the messages that I receive, kind of the vibe, I guess you could say, that I have. It's much different than so many other people's, right? But it's unique to me, just like yours is unique to you. Everyone is meant to be different on purpose because, oh my gosh, humanity is so vast. Interests are so varied that we're placed here to capture a certain type, a certain group, a certain affinity, and be like an inspiration or a guide or a teacher for that group, those people that can relate, that kind of have that same vibration of sorts. We see that throughout culture and society, right? So part of the growth of this whole process for me has been feeling more comfortable about my unique, not path, but my unique personality in this whole spirituality world. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to come to that point, I think, inside of yourself where you're like, okay, I'm going to be me, and I'm going to be comfortable being me. I'm 37 years old. Within the past year or 2 years, I think the majority of that growth and acceptance of myself has happened through this practice that I have, through channeling the Akashic records, through connecting to source and creator and asking questions of my higher self and connecting to the nature and the earth around me. All of the major growth that I've had in terms of getting ready for this or being in this position has happened in the past 2-ish years from really diving into within, diving within, however you want to say it. I've gotten to this point because I've made that choice that that's a priority. That's what I want to do. That's my self-care. Diving in. Taking care of the things that need to be released and removed and reframed and examined or questioned. Healing. Everything or the things that have come before that have colored or, colored my belief systems. Which is funny that's what I'm bringing up now, because isn't that a lot of what the teachings are that we are just coming back up or coming up in my own episodes now? It's the going within, it's the healing, it's all of that, the inner journey that is so important, that releases us from the confines of ego and perception and competition, anything outside of me. It releases me from comparison. Something that Jesus and Mary Magdalene taught, what many spiritual masters over time have taught. It's an important piece in this whole journey. So if I were to say what I've learned the most over 20 episodes in the past 10 months is to go within. You can always go deeper. Another thing that I feel like I've learned in the past few months from just doing this project is patience. Patience in the unfolding of, everything. So I think there have been chunks of time throughout these months for me where it has felt stagnant. I've been in doubt, questioning everything, experiencing some strange things that I can't place in my mind, right? Like there have been some unique circumstances that I've never experienced before in my life that have just happened within this time frame that have taught me that it's okay. Like just wait it out. There's no need to panic about what you're experiencing inside. There will be a shift. Eventually things shift. And understand that the shift will happen. It always does. You always shift out or move on or forward or sometimes backward. Nothing is staying like this the whole time. So I hope I explained that properly, because I think that is such a huge thing that it's a huge piece that I've learned is just kind of ride the wave, be in flow. I still struggle with it. Of course, I try to push things forward and move, and why is this not happening? Or why can't I do this? Or why am I still in this X, Y, and Z position? Why do I still believe this about myself after all the work I've done? Like all of those specific scenarios are something that I've probably experienced at some point, and probably you've experienced too at some point in your own journey. But just the pausing and understanding that things shift, mindsets change, belief systems can evolve, and nothing stays consistent. As long as you're showing up growth happens. Yeah, man, because there are just periods of nothing, aren't there? Like, it's like sitting and waiting, twiddling thumbs. Those are really hard for me. Really, really hard for me. So I've definitely learned that. Just kind of release and let go and be in the moment and just understand that it won't last forever. And you know what's funny is, and I'm on my third pregnancy now. Finally, in pregnancy number 3, I'm like, this doesn't last forever. Whereas the first one, you're like, man, this is never going to end. It's like the discomfort or, the body changes. All of the things. This, like, you think it's going to go on forever. You're going to be in that same mindset or the same body for the rest of your life. At least I did. My second one was so quick after the first one that I was still in that mentality, I think, for that second pregnancy too. Of just like, man, I'm never going to get out of this. I'm going to be like this, like, till the end. But I had a gap between 2 and this number 3. There was about 4 years in between the gap, 3 plus. And now I realize that I don't have to, like, make the emotions and the things that I'm feeling and this discomfort personal. I don't have to hold on to it and think, man, this kind of stinks right now and it's probably going to stink for the rest of my life. No. Now I understand that the pregnancy ends. And then the next phase. And then the next phase comes, which is something I'm still grappling with. Oh my gosh. No, but, like, in all seriousness, there is now this understanding that, man, you're not stuck in something forever. There's not the sameness. And you can, and like I said, in this pregnancy, I feel lighter inside in my heart because I know the cramps or the shooting pains is what we're getting to now. Those, like, ouchy aches, right? The, like, huffiness, out of breath, the hunger, the sleeplessness, that does not last forever. So we don't have to judge the spot that we're in so harshly. We can roll it off our shoulders a little bit easier. And just be like, well, it's just where I'm at right now. I know it doesn't last forever. This is why older people are so wise. They've gone through the pattern so many times. Oh my goodness. So in 20 episodes, I think the growth internally for me has been, I don't want to say extreme, because that's an extreme word, but it has been, what's the right word? I was going to say exemplary, because I have done quite a bit of work. I'm just going to leave it at that. I can say that I'm proud of the growth and the change. And I hope that you can do the same thing when you look back over your 8 months or your 6 months or your past year and say, man, I really did things a little bit differently and better. I've evolved. I've grown. I've shown up for myself. Yeah, I've changed in a positive way. And if you're going the opposite direction, then yeah, big time, you better be going within. You better be uncovering and unlocking the pieces that are leading you down that path. All of it's hard. It's not, sitting in discomfort is not meant to be easy, but what comes after is so worth it. So worth it. Oh my gosh. One more thing I would like to share before we get started with our meditation and just spending time in the Akashic records and with my spirit team, my higher self. I don't know why I'm saying our, unless you're participating in this, which is so fun. I hope you are. But another thing I've learned is You can shed the things that no longer are meant for you or don't just no longer feel right. And I think that's layered. Because in the beginning, as you're going through your awakening or you're connecting deeper within yourself and understanding the truth in your heart, I think it's personal. It's personal, the things that you're like, yeah, I don't want to choose that for myself anymore. Relationships or behaviors, patterns, what have you. For me, it was like a lot of like childhood healings, childhood things that you're like just trying to come to terms with or grapple with, or the guilt or the shame, whatever you're letting go of. Some of those traumas that we've experienced. I think a lot of that happens in the beginning, continues to happen, of course. But for me, that was a lot of my beginning. Where I'm at now, though, is this kind of like shedding of the external. And a lot of it actually right now, too, is like spiritual community based for me. It's saying like, yeah, I don't align with that anymore. I don't believe that that's right for me. And so I'm going to turn it off. Like specifically TikTok or YouTube, because that's where I spend some of my time. TikTok, especially some of those like spiritual, tarot, witchy, some of those channels that maybe I had followed and enjoyed previously and felt like, oh yeah, this is kind of me, does not feel that way anymore. It does not align with me. So it's releasing and letting go and understanding that it's okay that I'm not meant for everything and everything's not meant for me. There were some people that spiritual teachers, awakening teachers, that I definitely were so excited about and very much into in the beginning of my journey. And even up to like 2 months ago, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I find some truth in that. This is cool. Okay, I like what you're saying. I can relate to that. But more and more recently, the more that I'm digging in myself and connecting to the things that are here for me, they don't all make sense anymore. I don't relate. Yeah, I don't relate. And I think it's okay. I think it becomes more and more narrow the more that you show up, the more that you do. And I'm definitely not in a low vibe, girly type of space anymore. That is not for me. I mean, and as you're going through this, like the books you read and the TV shows you watch and the social settings that you place yourself in, like those all change and shift. And those definitely have all changed and shifted for me over the past 2 or 3 years. Well, has it been 4 years now? How long? My son was born in 2021. I had my major awakening in 2022. I mean, I've always been awake and inclined, if you will, always been connected in a way, but like which I don't know if I've ever talked about, but I can at some point. That happened in the summer of 2022. And what year am I in now? Okay, so yeah, 3 years almost. 3 years. It's pretty good. Oh my gosh, so much has been just kind of plopped by the wayside. No, all very normal. And like I said, it's multi-layered now. It's becoming more niche, the things that I'm interested in not. Most of it has to do with mostly spending time with myself or my family, my kids, and the things that like feel good. Being here with you feels good. It's enlightening, it's elevating, all of the things. So yeah, 20 episodes, I think I've learned quite a bit, 20 plus in, whatever experience I had before. I think that's all pretty good. It's better than being stagnant. Isn't that the truth? So I welcome you to episode 20 in a very 20-minute long-winded way. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to share in this life journey with me. It's a gift to be able to connect with people who are similar interest and learn from each other. I love it. Something that really I very much enjoy. So, like I said, thanks for being here. And let's dive into our meditation for today. Our Akashic Records little catch up. Most of it is about a spiritual path. I think that's what I'm going to ask about today. I'm going to ask the Akashic Records about learning on your spiritual journey and taking a spiritual journey. Just see what's available for us. So if you want to go ahead and close your eyes and do the meditation with me, the grounding meditation, the opening up of the channel, something that I've learned from my mentor, April Curry, by the way. If you haven't checked her out, I highly recommend. I know I plugged her a few times ago, but still very much mean it forever. She's an incredible intuitive teacher. Yeah, all the things. Much love. So go ahead if you're ready. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths. And picture that loving white light, this sunburst of energy above your head. And as you're taking your deep breaths, draw that energy down into your head, into your third eye space. Today, it feels like a syrup or molasses. It has a drippy feeling. And it's fun to feel the ways that the energy and the light changes day by day. But I'm just going to let it coat the insides all around. Bring it down your chest and down your arms. Bring it down your torso and down your hips. Down your legs. Through your feet. And out the soles of your feet down into Mother Earth. And just let that seep, that light, that beautiful loving energy seep into Mother Earth. As deep and as far as you can. Today, I want to coat the earth completely in golden white light. And then go ahead, once you're ready, breathe that Mother Earth energy back into your legs. Carry it up your legs and up your back. Through your neck and out the top of your head. All the way out the top of your head, up into outer space, sky as far as you can take it, back into that loving, beautiful white light, Mother, Father, God, Creator energy. And as we take one more deep breath in through our nose, bringing that white light again down into our heart space, into our chest, I just want to say a quick prayer of gratitude and thanks for spiritual growth, for 20 episodes, a monumental thing for me, I guess, a celebration. And a celebration and gratitude for those that are with me on the journey, who are witness to the change and to the growth, who've opened their hearts to the message, and are hopefully finding joy and gladness in their own growth, who are showing up for themselves every day or as often as they can, who are going within themselves to find the truth and the answers that they seek. And I want to thank the Mother Creator today. I can feel her presence as I'm saying my gratitude. So thank you for being here with us, with me. Thank you for your guidance and your love. As always, I ask to be a clear channel, to be open and honest and true, and to be a messenger for the wisdom that's waiting, the knowledge, the information, anything, the frequency that's waiting for all of us to experience right now in our present moment. So I thank you and I love you. So far in celebrating 20 episodes, I shared a little bit about the things that I've learned on my journey since starting the podcast, but also a little bit about the spiritual journey, the spiritual path. And I want to start today by asking about that topic in general. About taking a spiritual journey in life, a spiritual path. I think she's saying, well, what do you want to ask me? Well, I don't really know. I think that's what I want to ask. Why do we do it in the first place? And the initial feeling is it waits for you, kind of. Well, it's there for you at all times, but it's kind of like at a certain time you awaken to it or open to it. At a certain point, the path forward awakens or opens up. And you become more aware then of walking it or of journeying into self. And every effort, every step is a conscious effort at that point. Every step is a choice. You understand that at that point. You understand that the path was laid before you for you to experience on purpose or even previously beforehand. Like it's been laid out for you, but it's meant for you. Every brick, every step, every stone is been purposefully laid at your feet for you to experience and to guide your next step. And there are highs and lows to that process. There's joyful playfulness, there's fun. There's happiness. And then there are, the darker periods where you're kind of going into the depths or the haunted forest is the imagery I'm getting. The scarier, more terrifying aspects that are so hard to walk through and so hard to face. When you have to believe in yourself that you're going to get through. Even when there's not a light ahead of you. when it's dark. But it only takes a turning of the corner to see the light again, to come into the light again, to move in to a new experience. But that path, that winding from the gladness to the darkness, back to the light and the gladness again, that's all you're meant to be walked by you. When you go into the darkness and into the depths, it's not on accident, it's purpose. You have to go there before you can go into the light again. You have to work through that hardship, I keep getting darkness, that scary, terrifying stuff, the forest. They're showing me like Snow White when she gets lost in the mystical forest, kind of more towards the beginning before she meets the 7 dwarfs. And it's not just one time that you hit the darkness, that you kind of go into that despair, you go into the depth. The whole path, the whole journey, your whole sidewalk, the bricks you walk are back and forth, darkness into the light, light back into the darkness, darkness into the light. Because that's what we are inside of us. We are duality. We are both light and dark. And the dark makes the light that much more blissful. And the light makes the dark that much more hopeful in a way. Knowing that it's waiting for you on the other side is what you need to remember. There's a returning to the light and the darkness and the gladness. The light and the gladness and the light. Once you make your way through that dark pathway. There's an agenda. There's a reason. There's an agenda behind all of it. And it's like each time you go through kind of one of those cycles, light to dark and then dark to light, you'll have a whole nother layer of understanding inside of yourself that you've developed, that has been created. There's a whole new knowing about life. That hopefully the extremes become less and less separate or apart. It's almost like the meandering path goes from, like you're going like this at first, back and forth and back and forth. And then it's almost like they get smaller and smaller, the curves. Does that make sense? The more that you understand, or the more that you add to this depth of knowledge. And all of it leads you back to Creator, to Divine, to yourself. It's just like your life path leading you back to home, to Creator. Everyone has the same kind of walk, the back and forth, until they reach the point of return. Well, that was it. Thank you. I want to ask about the spiritual masters, history's spiritual masters. I know that there have been plenty over the existence of humanity, human history, who seem to have mastered this path. First of all, why? Why do they go through this themselves? Why did they go on this journey? It was like a purposeful placement, these individuals. I'm seeing like a meditating monk almost. Feels like a Buddhist vibe. Oh, maybe we're talking about the Dalai Lama. Is that who we're... Okay. Yeah, people are chosen for those paths. They're just following the voice inside of themselves to get to that point. And they're not doing it for others. They are totally doing it for themselves. But they're also, it's also done as an example. To say, here's what I could achieve also. Like, here is a person that I can follow or that I can emulate in a way. But the teachings that these masters follow all feel very similar. It's a going within. It's a mastering of self. It's using the inner voice, the inner guidance above all else, all others. What else does this image represent? Yeah, and it's all, the variance in these spiritual masters, just in, I guess, in their cultures or in who they are as people, provide different pathways for people to follow that ultimately are meant to get us to the same place. So I'm seeing like a yoga path, right? Is a path to oneness, just like, meditation path. I know that those go hand in hand typically, but different masters taught essentially the same thing. Just maybe different practices of getting there. That way people have different like strings to pull on, red threads to pull on that their resonates with their soul, or that their soul recognizes actually and says, oh yeah, oh okay, yeah, this feels good, this is for me, I recognize this, I'm going to follow this a little bit. And it feels like the spiritual masters, and I'm still stuck in this like Buddhist monk scenario, picture in my mind of those people that reach that level of mastery, those individuals that do, are on a mission of reconnection with Creator, with God. Getting as close as humanly possible to that divine being. Living in connection 100% of the time. Mastering the art, mastering being human. How can we, this is my next question, how can we, as individuals, begin to move forward in our own spiritual growth, on our own spiritual journeys? Not necessarily the mastery part, but living in society. How do we do this consciously? Yeah, you have to understand first that there is a consciousness within you, that there's a spirit or a presence within you that is much bigger and much holier and much more divine than just your human self. There's something else also there inside of you. It's like a separate thing. Recognizing that there's the spirit, a soul, inhabiting your body at the time. They need to go hand in hand. They are part of the same, they're part of the one, but there is still something that's significant and unique about the soul being in the body. And understanding where that soul, that connection comes from is important. Understanding where it originated from is monumental. And that creation space where you originate from, where your soul is from, where your soul is connected to. Is heavenly. It feels blissful. It's light. It's love. It's an elevated frequency. It feels very cloud-like and golden light. So you come from there, from a place like that. That's what you are first and foremost. It's just blinding. I mean, it's just blinding white light at this point. Golden light. That's that being, that oneness, that of all. That's big time high frequency energy. And it's funny because we've been getting lots of these blasts of light in working with Jesus' teachings. Like it feels like that. It's kind of this blinding, radiating place above the clouds, if that makes sense. It's a different space altogether. All right, so let me get back on track. Once we understand that we are a divine soul, then what? How do we continue to move forward? It was like, then you celebrate 20 episodes. I don't know. Celebrate. Live the human moments. Experience the joys and the laughter and the lows. But remember that there's a consciousness, a soul inside of you that's experiencing them too. You don't need to fall into the human aspect of forgetting. You do all of these things. You live as a human, remembering that you are also divine. Remembering that there is a higher vibrational existence inside of you. Live life through that lens. Live the human day to day from that lens. And really everything feels light and uplifted, and it feels just higher in my chest. It feels like up here. Yeah, and I know I say this a lot, but it's like this divine golden yellow white light. Elevated feeling. Blissful, heavenly. Live every day from the lens that you're experiencing as a divine being. What it's like to be a human. If you looked at it from that aspect, then you can forgive yourself a lot more for the kind of human-y traps. You realize that they're there, the potholes. You realize that they're there. You know how to distinguish between some of that human droopiness and your true elevated self. And that way you kind of just walk over the pothole instead of getting stuck and trapped in it. What's an example of this? Yeah, your car getting a flat tire, losing a tire, busting a tire. You could droop into the human despair. The world's against me. Woe is me. Why does stuff like this happen to me? Kind of mentality. And what's the alternative? Or it's a moment to step back and just kind of breathe and say, I need to take a step back. Why would I take this so seriously? This isn't a big deal. It's just a flat tire. It's just something I'm experiencing right now. That's all. Maybe it's an invitation to be in quiet by myself for a few more minutes. Maybe it's an invitation to examine some things that are going on around me that I'm not paying attention to. Maybe it's an opportunity to have an enlightened moment or an awakening or an aha. Maybe it's a time for you to be able to say, I need to take a step back. When you live from the space of divine soul in a human experience, everything becomes lighter and everything becomes easier or less heavy. Because you let the heaviness fall away. You realize it's not real. You realize you are not that aspect of life. And I was just given the image, like, no wonder so many enlightened teachers are blissful and peaceful and stress-free, because they live in that frequency all the time. That frequency of understanding that we are divine souls living in a human experience, and the human experience doesn't have to define how I perceive the world or how I live in the world day to day. There's no stress to be had when you're living in that mentality. When you understand that you are fully taken care of. And just kind of like carried through life. Yeah, you release the attachments of stress or chaos or confusion or anxiety, all of it. They're showing me the anxiety that lives in your stomach, that kind of rolls your stomach around and kind of lives there and churns. What does this represent? That keeps you in a lower nature, in a lower vibration. How can we work to release that in ourselves? Just kind of go, poof, and let it dissipate. Push it out. Get your frequency higher than that. Elevate your heart space. Tell yourself it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. I, as a human being, can reside up here, not in the anxiety down here. And I want to ask one more question. This is a personal question. My own spiritual path. How is that evolving and shifting and changing now? It was like, ho ho, wouldn't you like to know? Oh, how funny. People are funny today. And then I got the message, you're waiting for me to tell you, but I'm not telling you. It's like, nope, that's a closed book for me. What do you need to know everything for, is the message. Why would I tell you what the path ahead looks like when you're just meant to walk it? It's like, stop that. Do you have any messages specifically for me about my own spiritual journey? I'll just leave it open-ended. Any guidance for me on this path? Yeah, welcoming people in with open arms to witness your own growth. Inviting people into the space. Invite people in. Allowing people to witness the growth, the journey, your journey. And I asked him, why would I do this? And I got the biggest eye roll. I was like, oh my gosh. Just know that this is what you're meant to do. Oh, they're over it. They're over me today. Oh my gosh. Our guidance today is humorous, but also very direct and to the point. All right. So do you have anything final to say before we sign off today? Any final guidance for those on a spiritual journey, on a spiritual path? Anything that would be helpful for them to know? Do it. Take the steps. Walk it every day. It's so worth it. Do it, do it, do it. There's no, choosing not to. You can't not. You can't not. It's going to follow you everywhere. And when you keep stepping in potholes, it's almost like you'll know if you keep stepping in potholes. Things are trying to get your attention. If you're not practicing or following through or working on this aspect of yourself, you'll keep getting your foot in the hole. That's how you know, more work. Dive deeper. Do more. Go within. But the traps aren't bad. They're just ways of getting our attention. The pitfalls are not a bad thing. They're just a part of the journey, a redirection, a step. That's taking you somewhere else or leading you somewhere else. What does this represent? Okay. So I'm seeing a lion with a crown. And the lion with the crown is talking to me. Initially in a vibration or a frequency that I didn't understand. And then I said, I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're saying. And he said, yes, you do. Inside of your soul. You do. You understand what I'm saying to you. But it's there's this guide, there's this overseer that watches the paths, that watches the journey for each of us, that guides us. And the final message from this guide is follow where your heart leads, where your heart points you to. Like a dangling carrot. That's what your heart will be. The imagery is so funny. It's like there's a heart on a scepter, because remember, we're talking to a lion with the crown on, but it's like a scepter with a heart on the top, and he's kind of leading it in front of you. Oh. And it's kind of like, here, follow this path, follow the heart-led path, follow the things that light you up, that get you excited, that make you feel alive. That's what's going to help you on your journey, on your path, on your spiritual journey. The things that open your heart, that crack it open, that oftentimes make it bleed and cry, but that make it feel alive, that it's working. Follow those heart tingles, messages. And he's just saying goodbye, saying some things to me. So interesting. So awesome. So wonderful. So much good information today for episode number 20. I think it was a good one. It's an enlightening one. It's a helpful one. It's general, but like sometimes needed. To be reminded of such things, right? So I want to thank you for being here. Again, one more time, thank you for being here. I'm excited to welcome you in and to invite you in, as I have been doing this whole time. But continuing that journey together is awesome. So thank you for spending time with me today, for allowing the light to come in to just cover the earth in love. And hopefully I'll see you next time.